Hello, everyone. Thanks so much for coming. We're just going to give everybody a couple of minutes, and then we'll get started. Thank you so much. Okay. Thank you, everybody, for taking the time today. Um, today we're going to talk through the case for hosting Sage in the cloud, and really talk through some of the specifics of where the industry is at, what options are out there for you as a Sage customer, and as well what Cloud at Work is doing to solve for that SaaS experience for Sage. So just a couple of housekeeping items. The presentation is probably going to last about 30 minutes tops. We've allocated an hour, so I'm sure we'll be able to give back some of your day here in the middle of the afternoon, possibly late morning for some of you. The best part about these presentations that I enjoy doing is really having that Q&A at the end. So please, if you have questions, you can type them down, write them down, or even type them as I'm presenting. And at the end, we're going to go through all of those, and I promise you that I'll answer every question that you have. So my name's Tyler Bauer. I'm the Director of Cloud and Hosting Services for Cloud at Work. Cloud at Work is a sister company to Net at Work, and we focus on one main thing, and that is to create the absolute best experience for Sage users in the cloud. And we gear everything that we have towards creating that and solving for that. So as I mentioned today, we're going to talk through some industry studies. We're going to talk about some challenges in today's business environment, some surveys that we've done with our thousands or so of customers, and then as well talk about Cloud at Work solutions to those challenges. We're going to talk about some of the different Sage Cloud options out there, hosted ERP, application-specific cloud, what they all mean. And then we're going to talk a little bit about our incentive fund that we've released for 2021 and how we're making it easier for Sage users to adopt the cloud and get to the cloud better, faster, stronger. So the first piece that I want to talk through is really some challenges, and we've done some surveys and some investigation into our customers as well as other folks in the SMB mid-market space, and really ask them, what types of challenges are you facing today from a technology perspective going into 2021? And there really was two main themes, decrease and increase. Obviously, we are from a decrease standpoint, all folks were looking to decrease their time to market. We were looking to really streamline and get to market faster. With the new wave of employees and the younger generations, that instant gratification, that data now approach is here. And that translates to everything that we do, from what our customers are looking for and from what we're trying to accomplish internally with our employees. They're looking to decrease capital expenditure, and that's for a multitude of different reasons. A lot's happened in 2020, a lot of good and a lot of bad, a lot of different. And one thing that really I feel is here to stay is the majority of remote working and the productivity that we've seen there. That enables a whole different set of challenges for technology providers as well as for technology consumers. And capital expenditure, the traditional way of purchasing, was already phasing its way out. That was already transitioning in a way where the majority of private business was not consuming hardware anymore. It was really has transitioned fully to service providers, where the majority has settled. So that is just going to increase, I think, at even more of a light speed as we go into the future. We're obviously all looking to decrease costs. Who isn't? So we can make more profits, right? Which is the number one on the increase, and decreasing risk and security, and as well decreasing maintenance. Folks are realizing, and businesses are realizing, that maintenance equals commodity. That the daily grind of maintaining and band-aiding infrastructure and band-aiding where we're at as a business really can be solved quite simply with more cost-effective resources than hiring people and throwing people at those monotonous daily tasks. Not to say that there's any less value to it, it's just there's streamlines, there's more of a production type of an assembly line approach to it where you can get things quicker, faster, stronger that way. This has really transitioned the IT position in today's business to more of a strategist, to more of how can I move the needle for the business and focus on things like Sage and like some of the third parties, and how to increase productivity and increase workflow with our business and our employees. And as far as increasing, a lot of folks are looking to become more flexible and more scalable. So as I mentioned, with the change taking place in today's environment around remote working and that transition, we need that flexibility. We need to be able to say, okay, these folks, you can work from home for the next 2 weeks, and these folks maybe need to come into the office. So we need to be able to be flexible and as well have that scale at a certain measure that's comfortable for us. We need to have access to data and insights into our business real time, or at least near real time. And security and auditability has become, I think, one of the most important, if not the most important piece for SMB mid-market companies. The reason for that, obviously, I'm sure all of you have been impacted, or a friend has been impacted, or you've read in the news of someone being impacted around a security event, whether that's ransomware or an actual attack, and how important it is to not only not put yourself in a vulnerable position and prepare for that, but also be able to audit that track and be able to see where we're at after that attack or that threat. And then collaboration and integration. This ties right in with, I think, just the general theme of why we're seeing more and more folks go to the cloud. And that kind of goes to the next slide, which is a study that IDG put out. One of the biggest misconceptions, in my opinion, in the marketplace today is that the word cloud just means cloud, that every cloud that's out there is the same. And it's just not true. There really is not a cloud, bad cloud, so to say. It's not like this cloud is bad and mine is the best. That's not how we approach the market. We look at solving issues and solving problems and eliminating risk. And really, at the end of the day, it's a balance. If you remember the old bell curve from high school of supply and demand, if you substitute supply and demand with cost and risk, really that's what cloud providers are trying to solve for. If as a business you're looking to place more risk into the marketplace and place more risk outside of your business to service providers, that means you're going to spend more money for that, and you need more of a managed solution, of an expertise to help you there. The more risk you're willing to take on as an organization, and the more burden that you're willing to keep within your four walls, so they say, the less that you need from the service provider market, and maybe a platform like public cloud is a good option for you. But the top 5 challenges and the biggest misconception that I see is when companies are looking to move their Sage to the cloud, and they are considering AWS and Azure. Now, AWS and Azure are public cloud entities, and they're the 2 of the biggest names in cloud computing. AWS and Azure by themselves, without an additional layer on top, or 2 possibly layers on top, will not solve the challenges for companies who are looking to get rid of some of the technology burden within their organization. What AWS and Azure are is essentially a data center with with infrastructure. You're just buying servers differently, but you still have to maintain those servers. You still have to provision those servers. You still have to secure those servers in that environment, and you still have to help customers connect, or I'm sorry, employees connect, and you still have to manage the costing. It's a completely different model. And you might have heard this term, but everyone says you almost need a PhD in public cloud in order to efficiently run it. It's created a whole different subset of technology organizations and startups who really have stopped trying to become an infrastructure as a service or a cloud provider, and essentially focus their time on how to make public cloud more efficient, more automated, and add those layers on top for organizations. But even with all of that automation and technology, it still takes an absorbent amount of time and an absorbent amount of energy in order to get this solution to the right place. So when we talk to public cloud considerers, controlling cloud costs is number one. You get charged for ingress and egress of data, so data moving in and out. You get charged for bandwidth consumption. So if you have somebody streaming a service or listening to Spotify when they shouldn't be, controlling that and putting layers on top to mitigate that. Moving and downloading, transitioning reports in and out of that cloud is something to consider. So if you have integrations, or if you have third parties that maybe you're talking to other clouds or possibly talking to another local environment, you get charged for that. So it becomes very difficult to juggle how that provisioning takes place. Data privacy and security, this is the number one, in my opinion, piece that is misconstrued when thinking of these large cloud providers. Yes, they have security and capabilities at their data center for their servers that most of private business does not have, for instance, in their server room or possibly in their data center locally. But that's where it stops. You now have a virtual environment they've given you, and you as a customer, you as a consumer, are responsible to secure that. So if you are the victim of a ransomware attack, or you are the victim of a cyber threat, that does not fall on Amazon. That essentially falls on yourself. And as well, by being those behemoths that they are of Amazon and Azure, they are constantly, every day, being attacked, and basically people are trying to take them down constantly. They're a huge target, which, I guess is a good thing and a bad thing, right? They're that big that they're noticed, but at the same time, they have a lot of resources to throw at those challenges. And then governance and compliance. This is misunderstood, I think, by many, even technology providers and technology experts. Within data centers, you have compliance and you have certifications that you can obtain pretty easily. But once you start looking at how data is managed and how data is accessed and where data moves and who can access what, and those permissions and rules and what procedures as a company and an organization you have in place to protect that, you're going to start to see, in California and New York have already started to do this with their own statewide mandates, and GDPR is well on its way within the European countries. I think this is not going to slow down, and if you feel like this won't impact your business, in New York, for instance, coming up very soon, by them doing an audit on you could cost you significant dollars by not taking some of these steps that they've mandated for business to protect themselves. So what companies are doing is they're saying, do we invest in doing this ourselves fully, or do we work with providers who have already figured this out for us and we can just tap into them to solve for this? And then just overall lack of cloud security skills and expertise. If you've been in business for quite some time, you have a certain way of doing things, and that possibly could be on premise, and you've invested around that. There's a completely different security skill set and expertise set around delivering and securing and experiencing public cloud infrastructure. This same study showed where most folks and what most folks are moving to the cloud in the SMB mid-market. And so the red color represents currently migrating or deployed in the cloud. The blue, the dark blue, represents planning to migrate in the next 12 months. The darker gray, greenish color represents planning to migrate in the next 3 years. And the rest, the pink, the light blue, and the black, are really the small subset, but obviously they have some clout here. But the light gray is very surprising. That means 37% on internet and connectivity and management. They have no plans. So the light gray represents no plans at all. They haven't even thought of it. I really think that this light gray is going to go away for one reason or another in 2021. If we're not, as an organization, coming up with plans and looking at what's available to us and being able to dissect what technology services are out there and how we can apply those to our business challenges, that to me is just irresponsible. Constantly, we have to be looking at how we can make ourselves better and how we can make things more efficient and cost effective, so we can solve those 10 or so challenges, top challenges that we looked at on the first slide. So the nicest piece, the most surprising piece that I've seen is on the CRM, ERP, HRMS line of business application line. And that really is where Cloud at Work lives. And this showcases that a large majority of companies in the SMB mid-market have already migrated or are already have deployed their line of business application in the cloud. Now, this can be a combination of software as a service, or this could be a combination of hosted or application-specific hosting like Cloud at Work does. 17% plan to migrate in the next 12 months. Again, this includes software as a service and infrastructure as a service and application specific. And 14% plan to migrate within the next 1 to 3 years. So 31% of the market is moving towards this in the next 3 years. Now, for Sage, there really isn't a software as a service option right now for a lot of us. And so the folks that I talk to, they love Sage, and really, why shouldn't you? Sage was built with really defining your own experience in mind and kind of choosing what fits your business best. Software as a service has a lot of great things about it. One of them is really having that intertwined application and cloud experience, having upgrades, being able to, really seamlessly approach a single thread when it comes to cloud and application. But there's a lot of bad things about it too, or negative things for some businesses. One, if you're different, if you don't fit within the box that software as a service provides, you kind of have to conform your business and get in line with whatever's being conveyed. So if you have a change that you want to make, you kind of have to put your name in and say, this is what I'd like done, and you wait. Or you just conform to the way that they've done it and change your business towards that. The upgrade at will, or the upgrade whenever we want, which is great with Sage, right? We get to choose when and how we want to apply upgrades and updates and patches to the application based on what we feel is going to be or deliver a better experience for our business. That goes away. It just automatically updates. And most software as a service applications are deployed on public cloud, which we talked through some of those challenges. So not to say that software as a service is a bad thing, because it isn't. It's not going anywhere, and it's for sure here to stay. But when it comes to Sage, and if we've made the conservative effort that we like Sage and we want to stay on Sage for a considerable amount of time, or even for a short amount of time, but we want a better experience, Cloud at Work and application-specific cloud providers are trying to solve those challenges for you every day. And my opinion is, of that 31%, a large portion is that marketplace. Of the 41%, I would say a large portion of that is software as a service. The the whole reason why we want to move to the cloud, just to simplify, is to reduce infrastructure costs, hardware maintenance, and free up IT staff from managing and maintaining, increase capability, increase security, increase compliance, increase SLAs, and increase different types of measures as we look for a more stable, predictable platform to grow on top of. And really, these are all reasons why we would want to look at a cloud. Now, let's talk a little bit about the different types of cloud outside of public cloud or software as a service. So you may have seen that there is a Sage sponsored cloud solution that is in Azure, and there's hosted ERP companies all over the place, right? There's cloud organizations like Rackspace and Expedient and all of these other folks who do infrastructure as a service, and they manage the cloud infrastructure for us. But then there's this new breed that's really emerging, and I feel is the future. And really, it's taking the best of software as a service and taking an enterprise approach to cloud computing and cybersecurity and pairing the two. So you get all of the benefits of software as a service. You get the application specific triage. You get the ability to call one organization and have them handle either within your triage to your business partner or handle internally within the support desk itself. You have the ability to upgrade when you want to upgrade, but you don't have the bad things of SaaS, which are you have to upgrade here, you have to fit within my box. We're able to build this custom cloud experience just for your business and how you run it today. And really, we've seen Cloud at Work take off in the last 3 years just for that reason, is we're solving a major problem in the marketplace for companies who are looking for a different solution for their Sage Cloud experience. So a little bit about Cloud at Work, and I promise I won't make this a big commercial because I want to get to the end, but we were founded in 2017. So we haven't been around for a ton of time. But my folks and myself, we have well over 50 years experience in the cloud combined. We focus 100% of our time on cloud hosting for Sage applications. And we focus on how we can tie in that delivery as a software as a service experience for Sage. And we do that in combination with Net at Work, if you're a Net at Work customer, and we do that in combination with your partner. If you work with another business partner, we embrace that fully, and we have ways to tie into their support team as well and help you get the problem solved that you have. So why did Cloud at Work start? We touched on it a little bit. Most enterprise cloud management companies, the Rackspaces, the Expedients, those types of organizations, they don't know nor have any type of urgency around the Sage application. Why is that a challenge? If you were hosting in one of those organizations and you have your Sage business partner, what happens is there's this area in between. I call it the gray area. It usually starts right at the database and then works its way up to the application. And what will happen is you'll have a problem, and your user won't necessarily know if it's an application issue or an infrastructure issue. And if you're using one of these generic cloud companies, no matter how enterprise they are, you're going to have a stop and start, a finger pointing area where the cloud company is going to say you need to call your application service company, and your application service company is going to say you need to call your cloud company, and then you're stuck in the middle. And that's never a good thing when you're trying to solve a problem. It just wastes time, which in everyone that I talk to, time is money, right? And as well, there are options out there for other Sage hosting companies, so companies who know Sage and they deliver Sage in the cloud and offer that Sage awareness and that Sage branding. But there really isn't any Sage focused cloud organization who's taking the enterprise approach to cloud computing. So looking at tier 4 data centers, which we'll get into in a little bit, all the governance and compliance and security, virtual private, isolation, redundancy policies, all these things that most of the enterprise cloud management companies have as just a throw-in. That's what they do, and that's where I come from. Most of those Sage hosting organizations are just looking for ways to cut corners to give you a really cheap price. And when they give you that inexpensive price, it looks very appealing. But I've talked to well over 100 customers in the past 3 years who come to us because, unfortunately, they get sucked in with that low price, and then they have an outage for 2 weeks, or they lose a large amount of data, or they have a very major security event that happens because of something outside of their organization that was just another company within their data center that let that in. And those are all things that are easily solved for, but not with the mentality of cutting corners. And so we bring those two together. We bring that enterprise cloud approach together, and we bring that Sage expertise together. So much so that, for instance, on the 100, 300 side, we have tons and tons of customers that could be great references for you to talk to. And actually, on the X3 side, we're the only accredited Sage hosting provider out there by Sage. So Sage actually has recognized Cloud at Work and accredited them and allowed us to use their logo to say those things for X3 customers, and that's at the enterprise level. Here's just a quick snapshot of some of our customers. I always like to show this because I'm very proud of our customers and appreciative of what they've done for us and helping us grow. If any of you see any logos here that look familiar and you'd like to know their story, happy to do that, happy to set up a call and have you talk to them. Every single one of these logos represents people to me, and I know these people very, very, very well. And they've done so much for me, and I'd like to think I've done a lot for them too, as delivering a fantastic service. So let us know if you'd like to hear their stories or talk to any of them. And this is just kind of a recap of why Cloud at Work. But this slide right here talks, I think, very heavily and visualizes what we were discussing. So when we look at, let's pretend we're an organization and we want to go to Amazon, to AWS, and we want to put our Sage there. We're going to provision servers in Amazon, but maybe internally we just don't have enough expertise to solve for that. So we have to bring in a service company, a management company, to help us manage that infrastructure, secure it, make it redundant, all those things. And then, of course, we have Sage, and then we have our business partner, and then you have you, the client. And these are the layers that are involved in you consuming Sage in a cloud, in a public cloud, right? One of the largest cloud providers in the world. With Cloud at Work, it's simple. If you work with a business partner, we can insert a business partner right in between here, very, very easily and very simply. But Cloud at Work has all of these pieces covered, and we're able to help facilitate and triage and create that experience with one phone call. So if you ever have a problem, you can call Cloud at Work, and we'll take care of the back end pieces. We're never going to place burdens back on you as a customer. What we do is solve problems. Here's just a quick snapshot of our data centers. Very impressive facilities, very state of the art. We have two primary data centers that we put customers in right now. We're looking to expand in the near future north of us and across the pond, hopefully. So those are exciting new expansions for Cloud at Work. But most of our customers are in the Philadelphia Collegeville location. That location is GlaxoSmithKline's data center that they built. And we were actually customer number 1 in that data center, it's very impressive. And then in Dallas Plano, that is a tier 4 facility as well. Very, very secure facility and very, very well-known facility just outside of Dallas. When we look at those data centers and we look at the comparative of cloud providers, the way that cloud providers define themselves is nines. And so a lot of you have probably seen from other Sage-related cloud providers, we're 99.9% available. And all the time people ask me, they say, Tyler, is this good? And I say, well, it depends. It depends on what your risk tolerance is and what you're willing to accept. But there's definitely better out there. But if you are okay with the busiest time of your month or the busiest time of your year and having an outage for 9 hours and not being able to do anything about it, so being down for an entire day and not being able to do anything about it, then no, that's not okay. It's not okay. If you're not okay with rolling the dice on your business, then 99.9% is not okay. 99.99, by adding one additional 9, you see how much that goes down. And sometimes it's easy to kind of look at this chart and just be able to visualize 9 hours versus less than an hour at the worst of the worst case scenarios. And so Cloud at Work actually guarantees 4 nines availability. We've been trending over the last 2.5 years since inception, since we started at this 6 nines down here. So you see that we really have had very, very minimal downtime. And actually the one blip that we did have was really just our internet switching over to our redundant internet. There was a blip in our production internet and it was switching over in the automation to switch over. So very, very proud of that and very proud of my team for that type of capability. One other thing, if anybody ever guarantees you 100% uptime, if you ever see a company say, well, we guarantee 100% uptime, just know that there's no such thing. It does not exist. It's like Bigfoot. It does not exist, I promise. Anybody who's doing that is basically saying one thing. They're saying, okay, we'll guarantee you 100% uptime. We'll probably end up having a problem at some point in time, and we'll just credit you to death. So to me, that would just raise a major red flag that organization doesn't understand the true meaning of service delivery and uptime, and they're just comfortable with crediting their customers. I'd much rather set an expectation that is above market expectation than overachieve on that. Here's just a quick summary of Cloud at Work and what makes us unique. Again, everything that we do is 100% virtual private. So we guarantee that every single environment we build is dedicated to you. You'll have your own dedicated subnetwork, your own dedicated virtual private firewall. And so that allows you to really maneuver and build and customize your system to your needs. This also means that you're isolated from every other customer. So if there was ever a customer who clicked on a link that they shouldn't have and that customer was impacted by ransomware, know that every single customer that's in our data center is completely isolated on their own. There's no thread between customers or shared monitoring service or shared management portal or anything like that. We're not sharing anything between these environments. Everything is in a tier 4 data center, so the highest classification. We have a 24/7/365 monitoring and support organization. Some of the best in the industry. I've gone out and I've recruited people that I know deliver an excellent experience. And to me, I don't talk enough about how great the people are at Cloud at Work. And these men and women do a fantastic job for our customers. And I get emails every single week from our customers saying how great they are and singing their praises. So it's a very understated line item there, but very important. We guarantee a very, very robust redundancy policy for all of our customers. It's something I'm very, very proud of. You have most companies who may give you some type of backup, but even that backup I've seen with some organizations resides on the same network. So with Cloud at Work, you have production data. You then have snapshot data that's stored for 48 hours. So every hour we're taking a snapshot of your environment and we're storing that on a separate network. We're then taking a backup of your environment every night and we're storing that in a separate data center. And then if you fold in disaster recovery, if you decide to option in disaster recovery, you have a real-time replication of your environment to Texas and a 4-hour RTO and a 1-hour RPO or recovery point objective. That's 4 layers of data that's very, very aggressive from a redundancy stance, and that same redundancy path exists for every customer in our data center, no matter if you're spending $1 or $1,000,000. We do not sacrifice or bend on that redundancy policy. Of course, you have no application limitations, and we just mentioned the DR point, but disaster recovery is very affordable with us, and you can achieve, and we actually build your own custom DR plan for your application and deliver that to you for audits and governance and compliance and so forth. So with all that said, we've been in the market for quite some time, and we have really, really grown so much. And so in order to take the next step, and in order to get the word out of Cloud at Work and what we're doing for these Sage users and for Sage customers, we want to reinvest back into core values and core initiatives of your business and what you're looking to move. So we decided when creating this fund that we were going to allocate about $1.5 million towards making it easier for Sage customers to move to the cloud. And so what we will do is you will have, in an example, let's say you're spending, you come to me and you say, Tyler, I have 10 users of Sage 300, and I'm looking to move that to the cloud, and I have Orchid, and I have all these different components, and it's $1,000 a month. And so if it's $1,000 a month, I'm going to give you a check for $3,000. So you'll have a coupon for $3,000 that you'll be able to take and apply that directly towards a Sage project, whether that's an upgrade or a new piece of software or a third party, a support package. You'll be able to apply those funds towards anything that you choose with your business partner. So if your business partner is Net at Work, fantastic, you can use it within Net at Work. If your business partner is someone else, no problem. We'll give you that money to spend directly with that business partner, just to make it easier to move and to migrate. So what a lot of customers are using that money on is actually to get to the next upgrade, and in most cases, it's paying for their entire upgrade. So they're able to upgrade their application for free, and as well move into the cloud very easily. So very excited about it, and if you have any questions about that, please reach out. But you're going to start to see more and more of that in the marketplace, and we're going to be pushing that out in different types of ways through social media and so forth. So if you see that and you'd like to take advantage of that, please feel free. Again, we've allocated about 1.5 million. So when that does run out, we will not be offering that anymore. But very, very excited for that, and very proud of that. So with that being said, are there any questions that I can help answer for you? I'll give everybody a couple of minutes, but here is my contact info. This is my direct line. If you call this number, it'll ring right to my cell phone. This is my email address. Feel free to call me at any time. Email me, text me, whatever. You can also go to thecloudatwork.com, so www.thecloudatwork.com, and there's a ton of great content on there, blog posts, different types of configurator tools, some pricing is even out there, so you can go check that out. And then as well, check us out on social media. We're always posting new content and trying to really engage with the marketplace. So I have one question here. Is it possible to get a demo? Absolutely. If you'd like, you can reach out to myself or reach out via email, and we can get some of the specifics about the product that you're using, whether it's 100, 300, X3, 500, HRMS, and we have demo environments built for all of those, and we can get those to you very quickly. Great question. Any other questions that I can help answer? I have one more here. Oh, I have a lot here. Sorry. So we already know why we're interested in learning about the topic. Oh, I'm sorry. How does this solution compare to Swissnet? And it's a great question. So Swissnet has a lot of different options, mainly around the public cloud, and the the difference would be if you're looking for a very enterprise level solution, a solution that focuses on redundancy, availability, and security. We can certainly educate you on what our product does and how we really change and impact the marketplace. But at the end of the day, as far as a direct comparison against Swissnet, um, I'm really not the one to say who's better or who's worse. I'd have to know more about your business and know more about what you're looking to solve for, in order to make that comparison. And even then, I would never make that recommendation of one company over another. Um, Different clouds solve different challenges, and we're very confident in what we are doing for the Sage marketplace. The user experience is fantastic. It's a very integrated experience, very seamless connection experience. So you have published applications that you're working off of, if not a direct web link or web URL experience that you're working off of. A lot of our customers have come in and said how extremely fast it is because of the investment that we've made into our architecture and the level of, for instance, gigahertz cores or core gigahertz that they're working off of, and the level of resources, and the speed of our drives. Those have all been very, very positive. In 2.5 years, we have not had one customer leave due to performance, user experience, support, anything like that. We have had customers leave, but that's mainly around being acquired, or selling their business. So how does printing checks work with this? Great, and physical checks. Great question. So we have a very, very great solution for printing, and what we use is RDS. So it's an embedded Microsoft tool, RDS published application, and as well as different features within the RDS subset. So printing works seamlessly, and really focuses on redirected printing. So even if you're at home and you have, let's say, a network printer, if you're in the cloud, it's automatically going to recognize that and see that network printer. And we're able to configure that very easily for you. We have a ton of customers with hundreds of users printing dozens and dozens and dozens of checks by the hour, and different types of labels and so forth. And we're able to solve those very easily. So next question is, how do you log in to Sage with your product? Is it through a web browser? And it's a great question. It all depends on the product that you're using. So if you're using, for instance, Sage 300, there's web screens. So there are web enabled functions within 300, and some folks prefer to do more of a published application deployment. The other way that folks are looking at connecting is possibly through a VDI experience, and that would be more for customers who are looking to bring Sage, but also looking to maybe bring their file server and bring other aspects of their production workload to the cloud, and we're able to solve for that. So user connection is mainly through web and mainly through RDS published app, but it really would depend on what your preference is, and we have a multitude of different options within that. Great questions. Does it work with Create a Check? So I'm not familiar with the term Create a Check, but maybe some of my support folks are, and my architects are. So we can certainly have that conversation in a one-off scenario, and we can certainly get you an answer on that very, very quickly. Okay, is there any more questions that we can help answer? Okay, well, with that, I will end the webinar and say thank you very much for your time today. Really appreciate everything. And if there's anything that I can do for you, any questions that you have, remember to reach out and let us know how we can help you out. Again, have a great day. Thank you so much for your time. Take care.